When is the absolute best time of year to sell your house to get the most amount of money? Well, stay tuned because I promise you it's not what you think. Everyone always says you cannot time the markets, and you know what? They're absolutely right. However, what you can do is you can time the seasonality of buyers and sellers. I've worked with hundreds of home buyers, sellers, investors, and flipped many homes myself over the last 12 years, and I can tell you without a doubt, there is a best time to sell to get the most amount of money for your house. And I'm also going to tell you how we prepare our clients in actually flipping their houses for them to get them the most amount of money at the right time of year. So let's just jump into it season by season, starting with the most popular season, being the summer month. That's what everyone says is the best time to sell your property. I talk to so many people in May and June that are saying, hey, I'm getting ready for my house to be listed in July. They think it's the absolute best time of year to sell because that's what we've heard our entire life. But what I'm going to tell you is that you are wrong. You are dead wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. Taking a look at this, what I pulled up is the Denver Metro MLS. And what we're looking at is about a 13-year period. The first stat we're going to look at is closed price, okay? Because it makes sense. If prices are closing higher at a certain time of year, maybe that's the best time of year to sell, right? Well, what we can see is a consistent trend. And we can see looking back all the way to 2014, April, May, June, April, May, June, April, May, June comes down. And this is year after year after year. So what this is telling me by first glance is May gets you the highest price of the year. Now, what we can see here is the amount of inventory. Price is purely a product of supply and demand. Now, this trend that we're looking at is how many active listings are on the market. This is your summer month trend. And going back to 2014, we can see June, July, August is the peak months. Bottoms out in about February, then June, July, August, and September are the peak months of 2015. Then it goes all the way down in January and February. June, July, August are the peak months. So that means there's the most amount of inventory on the market during the summer months. And you really got to ask yourself, are you wanting to sell when everybody else is selling? Now here, we're going to look at the amount of closed listings. So once again, makes sense to look at when are the most amount of homes selling. And this one, very cyclical as well. And we can see March, April, May, June is the peak, dips down a little bit July and August. Down in February, April, May, June is the peak, and August is another peak. Down in January, February. Statistically, the most amount of closed listings happen in June. So maybe June's a great time to sell. However, those people that are selling and closing in June are not putting their house on the market in June. So summer does make a pretty good case. Closed prices are up there. The amount of closings are up there. However, if you're selling your house in the summer, you're likely not getting it ready or having it listed in the summer months, as most properties take anywhere from 1 to 3 months on average to close. So let's look at fall and see what that's showing us statistically. So what we can see are the closed prices after the summer months, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, all these months just fall off cyclically in price every single year, and it has since we've started recording this data. Now, the amount of active listings, let's take a look at supply and demand, see what's going on here, if that helps us understand price a little bit better. So the amount of active listings, as we know, peaks out in the summer months, June, July, and August, and then it just slowly falls off from there. However, what's happening here is that we're just kind of getting rid of the excess inventory from over the summer months. So really, fall is an extremely weak period to be selling your house. The holidays are coming up, so a lot of people have hit the pause button after the summer months on house shopping and might just be pushing it off till after the first of the year. All right, now we're heading into the winter months, the absolute worst time to sell, right? Anywhere from December, January, February, and kind of into March, right? Wrong. We love winter months. I do personally as well. So we flip a lot of houses as well, maybe 50 plus a year on average. And what our strategy is to acquire them in late fall, early winter, so maybe December, to be ready to hit the market over these next handful of months. And I'm gonna show you why. When we look at closed prices, the summer shows the highest closed prices. But you know what it's not showing? It's not showing the different categories of housing prices and what sells more. So on average, what I'm going to tell you is that more expensive houses do sell well in the summer months, $1 million homes, which then skews all the average numbers for your average close price across the board. Here is why we love to sell in these later winter months. We can go in, look at close prices again. January, February, March, prices are on the rise statistically every single year. The amount of new listings to come on the market, that's what I'm starting to look at. So we can see the lowest amount of houses on the market, put on the market as active every single year, tends to fall in December. The amount of active listings, looking at this roller coaster, amount of inventory currently on the market bottoms out in February. I love selling houses in February and March. They are literally my two favorite months of selling houses. It generally gives us the best opportunity for multiple offer scenarios because there's the least amount of inventory on the market. And we can see this historically every single year. Inventory peaks out in the summer and dips down by February is the lowest amount of inventory. February, March. Now the number of closed listings just starts to peak up during February, March, April, and maxes out generally in June every single year. Now, here's what's a really interesting number to look at, and that is the amount of showings per listing. What we're seeing here is on average, the most amount of showings happen per listing in the month of March. Okay. Every single year, 9, 10, 11, 12 showings in the month of March. The amount of active listings during that time is some of the lowest of the year. March is when people really start ramping up in their house hunt, and we can see it here historically. And here's something that I don't really talk about that much. However, when I talk to my clients, we offer it all the time, and that is basically our selling proposition that makes us stand apart as real estate agents from anybody else that you can talk with out there. And that is our fix and list program, where we will literally help flip your home and sell it for you at top of the market prices. So we flip a lot of homes ourselves. When we talk to clients, we always give them the option to have us flip their house for them. And what I mean by that is my partner, Eric, is a general contractor. We will come to the table with the funds as well as the crews to flip your house for you if it needs 40, 50, 60 grand worth of work, kitchen, bathrooms, floors, doors, carpet, roof, whatever, you name it. We will come in and help get that work accomplished. We'll pay for it out of our own pockets, and then we get paid for it at closing. So from about November to about January, we're talking with our clients, we're coaching them to figure out what the best price is at peak season during February to about April approximately, and we're figuring out the scope of work, how much work it's going to take, and the timing to hit the market during those few months. So while we're getting all of our projects ready to hit the market in late winter, early spring, we're doing the same exact thing for our clients to get them as much as humanly possible for their house. So what about the spring months? Well, I'm going to kind of include the spring months into the late winter months. So we have about 3 months that are some of the best months to sell in the Denver market, at least February, March, and into April. So we're kind of spanning end of winter, beginning of spring months. However, the rest of spring tends to be really good too until about third or fourth week of May. You'll instantly see the traffic change. So what we can see here, just going back to the stats, is March, April, May, they're all ramping up to be some of the highest closed prices on average of the year. The amount of active listings, once again, is really starting to climb. So you're starting to get some more competition out there. And then the number of closed listings, once again, is starting to rise a lot as well. Now, here's the psychology behind why selling your house in the late winter months, early spring months is the best time of year. If you're planning to move during the summer months to make your kids' transition as easy as possible, generally you're going to want to find your house first that you want to buy. And then you're going to want to list your house in the summer months to sell. That's why we tend to see a big spike of action in the early spring months, February, March, April, because people are out looking. It takes 30 days plus to close on your average property. So that's why all these numbers are skewed by a little bit, where June looks like the highest closed numbers on average. Well, these are properties that hit in April or May. If you're looking to sell for the absolute most amount of money, you really need to start preparing in November, December, January. And Again, I hope this has been of great use. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out. And until the next time, happy housing.